Fancy places just aren't my scene. Despite my grumbling, my wife encouraged me, and I ended up attending the reunion. There, I ran into a former classmate, Amy, who mocked me for only having a high school diploma. Amy began bragging about her husband's educational background. Not content with just mocking me, she went on to insult my wife and daughter as well. My husband is a Harvard grad and a senior manager. I bet your wife, having married a high school grad like you, must look pretty plain. And I wonder what your daughter looks like. Amy has been looking down on me since high school, and back then, I was too meek to retort. But I'm different now. I can't let her insults towards my loved ones slide. I told Amy, who was laughing haughtily. That's impressive. So, your handsome, Harvard-educated husband, who's a senior manager, I'll make sure he gets fired. Amy was taken aback by my words. As she ranted in confusion, I made a phone call. My name is Jason. I'm 44 years old. I live happily with my wife, Emma, our 10-year-old daughter, Sophie, and our golden retriever, Buddy. Our home is always filled with laughter, and after 14 years of marriage to Emma, we've never really fought. Sophie, though not the most active child, has many friends and adores playing the piano. She's so adorable that my phone is filled with photos of her from the moment she was born, and my commuter bag contains her first drawing of me and letters filled with hearts saying I love Daddy. In fact, I've filled and cluttered my office space with gifts from Sophie. When Emma saw this during a visit to my office, she was a bit taken aback. You know, I understand Sophie is important to you. She's adorable. But maybe you should tidy up a bit. Reluctantly, I reduced the amount of Sophie's gifts in my office space just 3 days ago. However, the gifts I brought home from the office are still treasured and displayed in our house. Looking at Sophie's gifts usually clears away most of my worries, but lately, something has been bothering me. What should I do, Emma? Fancy places just don't suit me. The venue is a top-notch hotel, and what about the dress code? I definitely can show up in a t-shirt and jeans. As I fretted, holding the reunion invitation in my hand, Emma laughed at my state. Emma is calm and kind, never overbearing, and smart enough to know the best course of action in any situation. She always listens to me with a smile. The invitation to the high school reunion brought mixed feelings. High school wasn't filled with the best of memories for me. It wasn't exactly a dark time, but it was a challenging period in my life. Seeing me slumped on the sofa, deep in thought, Emma must have felt compelled to speak. Why don't you just go? The organizer was someone who treated you well in high school, right? If they're organizing it, you should at least show your face out of courtesy. You don't have to meet everyone. Just think of it as going to see them. Indeed, the organizer of this reunion was Nathan, who had been kind, or rather, nice to me. I did want to see Nathan, but not so much the others. Emma always has a way of understanding and articulating my feelings. Her advice often brings clarity, and I'm grateful for it. You're right. It's the thought of having to meet everyone that's holding me back. Yeah, if I think of it as just going to see Nathan, it starts to sound more appealing. Yeah, I think I'll go. Thanks to Emma, I began to feel more upbeat. I marked will attend on the reunion invitation. Now, all that's left is to send it official. Emma, could you do me a favor? Could you help me pick out an outfit for the reunion? I'm fine with whatever I have. Of course. Why don't we go shopping for some new clothes? You're very handsome, so you should wear something that gives you more confidence. You're the only one who says things like that to me. I'm really glad I married you, Emma. Thank you for always being there for me. There you go again. Well, let's buy something that'll make you think, am I really this cool? I'm starting to get excited. Let's go right away. It seems our daughter Sophie overheard this exchange as she came out of her room. I could hear the pitter-patter of her little feet running towards us. Dad, Mom, are you going out somewhere? I want to come too. Sophie loves clothes too, and she already has her favorite brands. I don't quite get it. but Emma and Sophie enjoy looking for teen magazines together. Yeah, we're going to buy some clothes for me. Of course, we were going to ask if you wanted to come along. Shall we go together? Yes, I want to go. Can I get some clothes too? Of course, you can. It seemed unusual to Sophie for me to be shopping for clothes, and she looked surprised. I'm going to meet a friend. It's been a long time since we've seen each other. Really? That's nice. Dad, how long has it been since you've seen this friend? Let's see, it's been about 20 years. They helped me out a lot when I was in trouble. That's great, Dad. I have good friends too. Sophie's smile was heartwarming. I hope Sophie will be surrounded by wonderful friends in elementary school, middle school, high school, and even as an adult, leading a joyful life. Thinking about the past, I almost let myself be dragged down by feelings of loneliness. At that moment, Emma gently touched my back and cheered me up with her bright voice. Come on, hurry up. If we're going, get ready. Sophie, go change into your favorite outfit. Okay, what should I wear? Watching Sophie happily go to her room to change, Emma and I shared a smile. I took a deep breath and apologized to Emma. Sorry, I just got a bit melancholic thinking about the past, feeling a bit sad and lonely. I had a feeling you might feel that way. It's normal for everyone. It's not a bad thing. Just switch gears and move forward. Now, get ready. Let's go. Yeah, you're right. Thank you. I smiled at Emma's positive words. Then, the three of us went to the department store, and Emma helped me pick out clothes. Even though I'm not familiar with brands, we ended up buying a suit for the reunion from a well-known luxury brand. We also bought clothes from Sophie's favorite brand. Afterward, we had dinner at a restaurant and then headed home. Spending time with my family on weekends is priceless to me. Days flew by and finally, the day of the reunion arrived. I wonder if everything looks okay. Dressed in the suit I bought for the reunion, I asked Emma for her opinion. You look great, really handsome. Wow, you look so cool, amazing. I was a bit embarrassed by their compliments. Really, thanks. Guess I'll be heading out then. Take care. Dad, have a good time. See you later. With Emma and Sophie seeing me off, I drove to the reunion venue. The reunion was held at a luxurious hotel, with an opulent entrance. Knowing that fancy places aren't really my thing, I felt a bit intimidated by the atmosphere and almost slouched. But then I remembered Emma always reminding me about my posture, so I straightened up with determination. I headed towards the grand hall of the venue after checking in at the reception. Upon entering, I saw a few familiar faces, but I scanned the room looking for Nathan. That's when I locked eyes with a woman. Unpleasant memories flooded back, and I almost turned on my heel to leave, but it was too late. Oh, isn't that Jason? You came to the reunion. Her loud voice made me give up on escaping and turned back towards her, Amy. Yeah, I received an invitation from Nathan, so I gratefully accepted and came. Really, but I'm surprised you came. You only graduated high school, right? I wondered what my educational background had to do with this reunion, but since I was asked, I felt compelled to answer. Well, yeah, but, wow, really? I knew it, you're just a high school grad. I graduated from college before getting married. Actually, my husband is a Harvard grad, a real elite. Emphasizing Harvard University, Amy raised her voice even louder. Whispers of Harvard, that's impressive, could be heard. Amy seemed quite pleased with the stirring she caused. I thought to myself that her husband's Harvard degree was his achievement, not hers, but decided it was best to keep that to myself. I chose to respond like an adult, reading the room. That's impressive. A Harvard degree is a prestigious credential. I intended my comment to be genuine, but Amy seemed unsatisfied. She seemed looking slightly annoyed. For someone like you, a high school grad, to call it prestigious, it just sounds like sour grapes to me. Laughter from the crowd reached my ears, and I glanced around to see it. It was coming from the same people who used to join Amy in mocking me back in high school. Nothing's changed, huh? I muttered quietly, so no one else could hear. The sense of alienation was somewhat palpable. This indescribable feeling brought back memories of my high school days. I had come to see Nathan, but now I was considering leaving. Despite being sent off with smiles from Emma and Sophie and looking forward to seeing Nathan, maybe it was best to leave without finding him. Just as I was about to leave, my savior appeared. Really, you hadn't changed at all, still mean-spirited and full of pride, with nothing upstairs. Stepping between me and Amy was Nathan. Nathan, I called out softly, and Nathan, turning around with a big smile. His smile, with the corners of his mouth pulled tight and wide open, was just like it used to be. "Hey, Jason, long time no see, man. You really haven't changed a bit." He patted my shoulder enthusiastically, clearly happy to see me. I was overjoyed by just that. That alone lifted my spirits, dissipating the earlier sense of unease. "Nathan, you haven't changed either. It's great to see you." Just as Nathan and I were enjoying our reunion, a shrill voice interrupted. "What do you mean, Nathan? Mean-spirited and full of pride, with nothing upstairs? Are you talking about me? Are you seriously thinking that about me? I've always thought that, even back in high school. Just never said it till now." Laughter erupted from the crowd once again. "We're 44 years old, you know. At our age, shouldn't we be past caring about educational backgrounds? As long as we're working, earning money, and living our lives, that's all that matters." The atmosphere turned more agreeable with Nathan's words. Indeed, as long as one is working, the sentiment in the air seemed to lean towards that. Nathan always had the ability to change the mood of any gathering, even in high school. Whenever Amy made a snide remark or someone else was harsh on me, Nathan would somehow appear, join the conversation, and change the atmosphere for the better. What are you talking about? The lifetime earnings of a high school grad versus a Harvard grad are totally different. Nathan skillfully deflected Amy's protest. "Well, normally you'd think so, but imagine a high school grad who starts a company and becomes its CEO. They'd probably have a higher lifetime income than most. Entrepreneurship has become pretty common, you know." He glanced back at me with a mischievous smile. Wait, is he talking about me? Suddenly, my heart started racing, and I broke out in a nervous sweat. Just as I felt my throat go dry, a waiter with a tray of drinks passed by. I quickly called him over and took a gulp of orange juice. Amy's tirade continued unabated. "Well, that may be true, but that's irrelevant to him. There's no way he could do something like that. My husband works for SHY, a publicly traded venture company, and he's one of the managers." Just then, I swallowed the orange juice the wrong way, and it went down the wrong pipe. I managed not to spit it out, but I couldn't stop coughing. Amy continued to talk about what her husband does at his company, oblivious to my condition. She was sharing insider stories her husband had heard from meeting some very famous people. As I listened to Amy's stories, I couldn't stop coughing. "What's wrong with you? That's disgusting." "Hey, you okay, Jason?" Thanks. Sorry, I'm fine." I wiped my mouth with a handkerchief and caught my breath. That was close. Thought I was heading to the afterlife with that orange juice. "Can't go yet, I've got a child." Everyone around laughed at my comment. It wasn't a mocking laugh, but one that seemed to be enjoying the moment. "Jason's funny. Did you change since high school, or were you always this amusing?" "Hey, this is fun." "Nice. Has everyone finally seen Jason's charm? He's always been fun to talk to since high school. He just didn't show that side much back then." Nathan's warm hand patted my shoulder. "Your kindness is one of your best traits, but you're not just kind and meek anymore, right? Being the top of a company, you can't just be kind." Nathan winked as he revealed my profession. The whole room buzzed in surprise. "How did you know?" I was genuinely shocked. I usually work under a business name, and even after going public, I've declined media interviews. Fortunately, work keeps coming for referrals, so I don't attend industry mixers. The only people who know I'm the CEO are those I've met through work. Did I meet Nathan somewhere? No, that can't be. If I had met him, I would have recognized him as my classmate Nathan right away. I wouldn't forget or fail to recognize him. Lost in thought, I must have made a strange face. Man, you're making some funny faces. You're wondering how I knew about your true identity, aren't you? Caught by Nathan's accurate guess, I confessed. Exactly. I have no clue. I usually refuse interviews, and I don't go to parties. I use a business name, not my real one. Yeah, I figured as much. Spoiler alert, I was working as an editor at the only publishing house you gave an interview to before going public. What, really? I was astonished by Nathan's revelation. There was one time, right before we went public, when I agreed to an interview with a single company. That was the last time I allowed my face and name to be published. I had a deep debt of gratitude to the late President Miller of that publishing house, which is why I agreed. I never imagined Nathan would be working there. I wasn't in charge of your article, but the publishing house was small. We were all so busy that everyone had to pitch in to get the work done. When I saw your photo during a photo check, even though the name was different, it was obviously you. I see, so that's how it was. It might sound weird, but I'm glad you recognized me. It's really embarrassing, though. I was really happy to find out you were doing well, Jason. Back in high school, it seemed like you had given up on a lot of things. Being told that, I was reminded of my high school days. Indeed, back then, I was probably at the lowest point in my life, unable to see any hope for my future. My family was intact, but we were very poor. My father, also a high school graduate like me, worked hard for the family, but life was never easy. My mother worked part-time too, but years of overworking took a toll on her health. She had to go in and out of the hospital, making it impossible for her to work. Luckily, my school didn't prohibit part-time jobs, so I worked 4 times a week to contribute to the family's income. I'm really sorry, Jason. I try my best to get you into college, but it looks like I won't be able to. I truly apologize. I wanted you to go to college. My father apologized with tears in his eyes during the summer break of my senior year in high school. I thought to myself, I knew it. I had seen my parents working hard since I was little, so I understood their situation well. That's why I never blamed them. I didn't dislike them. In fact, I respected and loved them, though I usually felt too shy to say it. But feelings of emptiness, loneliness, and resignation would sometimes overwhelm me. At that time, I thought the best thing I could do was to comfort my father. Dad, don't worry about it. I know you and Mom have been working hard since I was little. There are plenty of people who didn't go to college but still managed to work and live their lives. So I'll work right after high school too. Just relax. I'm really sorry. You should be enjoying your high school life, not working part-time all the time. You hardly ever hang out with your friends, do you? I wanted you to enjoy your once-in-a-lifetime high school experience without having to worry about our family. Seeing my father break down in tears, I started crying too. Don't cry, Dad, I'm okay. Even now, thinking back, I'm sure anyone would say I was definitely not okay, given how much I was crying. Crying with a runny nose, and that too as a senior in high school. After crying for a while, I felt embarrassed and needed a change of scenery, so I told my family I was going for a walk. Okay, take your time and relax a bit. I walked slowly to the riverbank, which was part of my usual walking route. It was getting dark in the evening, and there weren't many people around. I always liked the riverbank at this time of day. It was a good time to relax and zone out while looking at the river. I wonder if one's life is really determined by their education. Words I thought I had muttered quietly. I never expected to get a response to them. Is education really that important? I don't think so. What? Nathan, you heard that? I turned around in surprise to find Nathan there. Nathan was exceptionally talented, serving as both class representative and student council president, and was highly regarded by teachers. He was good at both studies and sports, had good looks, and a great personality. In other words, he was the complete opposite of me, even though we were in the same class. Although Amy harassed me, Nathan was always the one to come to my rescue. "Yeah, you seem a bit stressed, huh?" "Not really. It's not that serious." "Excuse me, I'm going to sit next to you." With that, Nathan casually sat down beside me. We're high school students, after all. There's only so much we can do at this age, but I'm here to listen, and of course, I'll keep it confidential. Encouraged by Nathan's offer, I started to share bits and pieces about my family situation. I talked about how, despite loving my parents, life was tough because my father, with only a high school education, struggled to make ends meet no matter how hard he worked. My mother had also worked but was now unwell. Not being able to go to college meant my highest level of education would be high school. The thought of my own life ending up impoverished left me with an indescribable feeling. "I see, that's what's been bothering you. You have it good, Nathan. You're smart, athletic, and I bet your family isn't as poor as mine, right? Your stuff always looks nice." I found myself saying things that probably didn't need to be said. I envied Nathan. "Really? Well, I guess it seems that way to others." "Yeah, I get it." His remark about how things appeared to others caught my attention, and I stared at Nathan's profile. When he turned to look at me and our eyes met, he gave a sly smile. "That's a secret between us. My family is pretty much a mess. My parents have been at odds for years, each having their own affairs. My dad even has a kid outside. They only fight when they see each other at home. We had a live-in maid, so I was raised well enough, I guess." I was shocked by Nathan's casual way of revealing such personal troubles while laughing it off as if it were nothing. Nathan always seemed perfect and flawless at school. I had assumed he was raised in a loving environment, with plenty of money spent on him. Trying to imagine myself in his situation. The more I thought about it, the more unbearable it seemed. It felt like I would be twisted by such circumstances. "I'm sorry for bringing up something unpleasant." I sincerely apologized to Nathan. "I haven't told anyone before. Somehow, I felt like it was okay to tell you. You know, as kids, we have our pride. I guess I wanted to be seen as a happy kid by others." "Yeah, I get that. I hadn't told anyone either. What's up with this pride, anyway?" As we looked at each other, something about the situation struck us as funny, and we burst out laughing. We then lay down on the riverbank at the same time. Maybe it's because there's so much we can change, but isn't there still room to enjoy ourselves? Enjoy ourselves. Yeah, even if we don't have money or our families are falling apart, we can still find enjoyment, right? I guess so. Enjoying ourselves. I want to do something fun. How about fireworks? Nathan's sudden suggestion took me by surprise. Fireworks, like, right now. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, let's go for it. After that, Nathan and I went to buy fireworks together. I had said I was just going for a walk, so if I didn't return home by night, my dad would worry. I called home from a payphone to let him know I was with a friend and we were going to play with fireworks. "All right, have fun. Just be careful on your way back." I was happy he said that. We couldn't afford much since it was so sudden, and we didn't have much money. We bought a set of fireworks with a lot of pieces and a lighter, then returned to the riverbank to set them off. "Wow, look at the colors. Isn't it amazing, Jason?" "Yeah, really." Mine changed colors midway. We excitedly enjoyed the fireworks. We're chasing each other with sparklers and swinging them around. We laughed and ran around until we were tired. After all the fireworks were gone, We sat down and talked about various things. Life can be tough when you're trying hard, but I think life is something you can make something of. I'll keep trying. So how about you don't give up on life from now on, Jason? Yeah, you're right. Life is something we can make something of. The more we grow up, the more we can handle. Exactly. Let's think that way. It's infuriating to think that life is determined by circumstances. That really gets on my nerves. I don't want to lose. Actually, I won't lose. Nice. Let's both keep trying our best. And so our day came to an end, and we parted ways. That day spent with Nathan became a truly special memory for me, fueling my life even now. I had given up on a lot of things, but because Nathan listened to me, because of the fireworks we set off, and the things we talked about then, I still remember it all. Right, the fireworks. In the interview, you wrote about the fireworks you set off with a classmate in high school, and the words they said to you as a memorable moment. Yeah, I wrote that. I think life is something we can make something of. I'll keep trying. So Jason, you should too. I've never forgotten those words from a classmate. When I read that part, I cried, manual right in front of everyone. Is that so? It must have surprised everyone around you. But it's the truth. Those words are what kept me going. Believing that life is something you can manage on your own. Your article saved me, you know. What? Despite giving you all that advice, my life was a mess at the time. Everything I did backfired, and I was so overwhelmed I thought about running away. I was mentally cornered. I had no idea, but when I thought about how you took our conversation to heart and worked so hard, I felt I had to do the same. I was the one who said life is something you can manage on your own, so running away would be incredibly lame, right? That thought helped me keep going. Thanks, Jason. When Nathan said that, I felt like I was going to cry. I owe it to you, Nathan, for getting this far. There were a lot of challenges from starting my business until it took off. Well, there are still challenges now, but I can keep going, thanks to you. Man, this is kind of embarrassing. No, really, it's true. We laughed and let go of the tension. I'm glad I came here. That's when I truly felt grateful. Amy started ranting again, having been ignored until now. What's this? Your youth drama nobody asked for. In the end, you're just a high school grad. Even if you claim to be a top executive, your husband's company is nothing compared to my husband's. Your husband must be wonderful. If you chose him, he must be handsome. As I said this, Amy snorted and started fiddling with her phone. She turned her phone's screen toward me. She's showing a photo of her beaming next to her husband. Wow, he is handsome. A Harvard graduate, good-looking, and wealthy. He sounds perfect. Right, you said you're married, right? Your wife must be plain and unremarkable, just like you. How lame. I wonder what your children look like. If it were my husband and me, our children would be adorable, whether a boy or a girl. Amy had crossed a line for me. I'm not good at confrontation, and I can tolerate being insulted myself. But I won't stand idle by while my dear Emma and Sophie are mocked. I felt my expression go blank. Noticing the change in my expression, Nathan must have sensed something was wrong. He urgently advised Amy. Amy, that's way too much. Apologize, now. That's a terrible thing to say, Amy. Other classmates tried to intervene, but Amy was relentless. What? It's the truth. What's wrong with saying it? Besides, comparing someone with a high school grad husband who's a top executive to someone like me with a Harvard-educated manager husband, it's clear who's happier. Amy continued her tirade, unrepentant. Understanding her smug look, I declared, "All right then, your handsome Harvard-educated husband is fired." I said it with a smile. The room buzzed, and Amy turned red, screaming. What? Fired? What do you mean? You can't just fire my husband. Are you stupid? Sorry for not introducing myself earlier. I'm the CEO of SHY. Here's my business card if you'd like. I handed a business card to Amy with a theatrical gesture, distributing others to Nathan and nearby classmates. Hey, isn't this why the company Amy was bragging about? Well, can you believe this, Amy? This is bad for you. Whispers spread as Amy trembled, looking at the business card. This can't be real, can it? It's no lie. I'm your husband's boss, his employer. Too bad, huh? Wait, I was wrong to mock you and your family, but you can't just fire my husband over that. Amy looked desperate. Well, it's understandable. Of course, insulting my family is unforgivable, but unfortunately, that alone isn't grounds to fire your husband. Relieved, Amy responded. See, I knew it. You can't just fire someone over that. But you know, the things your husband was talking about earlier, they're supposed to be confidential, company secrets. The level of information accessible changes when you're an executive. Even family members aren't allowed to leak that information. Amy's complexion turned noticeably pale. Even while choking on orange juice, I had listened carefully. I was aware that Amy's discussions breached confidentiality, including her husband's not-so-funny plans. And you said he was planning to take that information to another company, right? I never said that. Amy desperately denied it, but such an excuse was futile. She had been speaking so loudly and confidently about it. Give it up. Everyone here heard it, right? Many classmates voiced their agreement with Nathan. Amy must have realized how serious the information she had shared was. She finally collapsed to her knees. I'm glad my wife isn't someone like you. Good luck with your future. We were paying your husband a hefty salary. Oh, didn't you just buy a luxury condo? That's going to be tough to pay for now. I pulled out my phone and called Amy's husband. Hello, it's me. Good evening, Mr. Thompson. What's the matter? I'm going to have to let you go because of an information leak. You've been sharing work details with your wife, remember? You signed a confidentiality agreement. Well, that's, Receiving a call out of the blue from the CEO and being told he was fired must have been a shock. Confronted with the fact of the information leak, Amy's husband was clearly panicking. I explained the situation over the phone, mentioning that his wife Amy was my classmate. We had a reunion today, where she proudly shared his work details. She boasted about having confidential information and planning to switch to a rival company. That idiot. That's not true, Mr. Thompson. What's different? I won't listen to excuses. What you've done is a serious betrayal to the company. You were quite specific about your plans, right? This is grounds for immediate dismissal. Be prepared. I hung up and turned to Amy, who was still sitting on the floor. So, your husband is fired. Thanks to you, I found out about a leak in my company's information. I need to rethink our information security. Amy's phone rang incessantly as she muttered, "What should I do now?" At this timing, it's definitely a call from her husband. They were in for a dramatic confrontation, and I watched with a sense of detachment. Maybe you should answer it, but it looks like it might take a while, so the lobby might be a better place. Holding a ringing phone, Amy staggered toward the lobby. I told Nathan. I wanted to relax, but I have to go to the office. I need to check the extent of her husband's information leak and if any data was taken. Got it. You've suddenly turned back into a CEO, Jason. Looking good. Really. Thanks, I guess. But letting my subordinate leak information makes me a failure as a CEO. I need to investigate, reflect, and improve. Sorry, I have to go. All right. Good luck. After receiving words of encouragement from my classmates, I rushed to the office. I made calls from the taxi, summoning the necessary personnel to the office immediately. Everyone was furious upon hearing about the leak. They gathered quickly to address the situation. I was grateful to have such reliable teammates. As promised, I terminated Amy's husband for disciplinary reasons. Fortunately, we discovered the leak early enough to minimize its impact. But a leak is a leak. This incident prompted a thorough review of our information security measures. It had been a busy few days, and it was the 4th day since I had been home. The sun is too bright. I can't overdo it anymore. Just then, my phone rang. It's from Emma. A smile forms on my face as I press the call button on my phone. Hello, Emma. Yeah, I'm on my way home now. Even when faced with tough or exhausting situations, I have Emma to support me. Just having Sophie there makes me smile. I'll keep doing my best to protect my loved ones. With that thought, I began walking home at a leisurely pace.